Hello and welcome to Global Matters. The Nigerian government hosted members of the Nigerian Diaspora community in Abuja between 25th and 26th July in the annual Diaspora Day. The event, under the management of Abike Dabirewa's Nigerian Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, focused on consolidating diaspora engagement for national development. The 17th annual Diaspora Day had participants as usual from Europe, the United Kingdom, and other places outside Nigeria, where over 17 million Nigerians plied their trade. The program today will look at this annual event, if it has really added to Nigeria's national development, has been touted. Has the federal government of Nigeria truly harnessed the economic and technological deposits of the diaspora community to develop Nigeria? Has the government created the enabling environment for the diaspora community to contribute to national development, either by way of direct investment or transfer of skills and technology? These are the issues we'll be taking a look at on the program today. And with me to look at the issues are three members of the diaspora community. Alice Oshede was a former chair of the Nigerian Diaspora Community Europe Board of Trustees. Bashir Obashekola is also the chair, NIDO Continental Europe from Germany. Is Kenneth Van, the director of African German Information Center. He'll be joining me to look at the diaspora community and these annual events. Has there anything really come out of it? It's just some jamboree of a thing and government looking for a way to put money down and give us this phantom idea that is engaging the diaspora community. What is this Diaspora Day? What value, what essence has it been for the diaspora community? After this break, my guest will be joining me on the program. Don't go away.
The Nigerian president, who was represented by his chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, says the 17 million Nigerians in diaspora have contributed immensely to Nigeria's development through their resources, talent, skills, and global exposure. According to him, government will continue to encourage them to continue to contribute to the development of the country.
On this occasion of National Diaspora Day 2023, I want to reiterate to you my commitment to do everything that I can as your president to make our beloved country the destination where the best dreams of your heart can be achieved and where there are no limits to the inspired ambitions you carry in your heart and in your spirit. May I also let you know that this new democratically elected government is a diaspora-friendly one, which will provide an enabling platform. We will provide an enabling platform for effective policies for the diaspora with a view to galvanizing support for the new administration and concretizing our democracy, setting an excellent example for other African countries to follow.
The chairman CEO of NIDCOM, Abike Dabirewa, said the efforts of the Nigerians in the diaspora will make tremendous impacts on capacity and infrastructure development if properly harnessed and deployed.
Our interactions with the diaspora community during this year's National Diaspora Day celebrations, therefore, are expected to mobilize the diaspora to key into some of the programs of the government and to chart improved and better ways on how to achieve positive results for national development within the renewed hope agenda of this government.
The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs applauded Nigerians in the diaspora for their diverse contributions, which have made positive impacts, especially in the remittances to Nigeria.
Since the establishment of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, the Nigerian diaspora relations have engendered groundbreaking achievements in the health, education, agriculture, ICT, transportation, and services sectors of our economy.
The time has come to focus more on further integration of the states of the Federation into the NIDCOM process. This will be in terms of human capacity development, skill development, or transfer and capital investment.
This year's event drew a large number of participants from ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as the private sector.
The world has become more connected than ever before. Every continent, color, race, language, and religion, even government, move towards common goals. We now live in a global village. Here on this program, we bring you global issues to shape our world.
Government can do a lot with tax revenues collected for health and education.
The role of the European Union is to accompany a partner, that is Nigeria, in offering our lessons learned to see whether together we can improve that situation.
The emphasis on education, on vocational training, on the development of entrepreneurship is absolutely critical to its democracy.
The Nigerian government, we would ask them to follow up the investigations that we have had, the evidence that we have gathered, and ultimately we made a number of recommendations.
As we travel the world, we explore these issues of international and diplomatic relevance. Indeed, the global agenda that determine our national and common interests. With me, Tunde Alabi, live on the IT. All right, thank you for still being there. This is Global Matters. On the program today, we are taking a look at the just concluded Diaspora Day that was held here in Abuja between the 25th and 26th July, just a couple of days ago. And in me in the studio, I have Bashir Obashikola, the current chair of the Nigerian Diaspora Europe Continental. Thank you to Bashir for taking the time to join us on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And also, I have the former chair of the Nigerian Diaspora Europe Continental Totality Security. Thank you for taking the time to join us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And on the other side, in Germany, I have Dr. Kenneth Bandi. Dr. Kenneth Bandi is also a former chair of the Nigerian Diaspora Europe Continental and currently the director Africa German Information Center. Dr. Kenneth, thank you for taking the time to join us on the program today.
Thank you so much for having me on the program.
Pleasure. Now, let me start with you, Dr. Bashir. You saw my intro. You heard my intro. 17th Annual Diaspora Day. Hundreds of millions go into this every year event. What benefit, truly, in all sincerity, does this bring to the diaspora community?
Well, in anything...
Apart from you people coming from all around the world, Germany, Europe, London, to come have a taste of the Nigerian pudding that you haven't had in a long time.
Yeah, it's also part of it. Just seriously speaking, it's a good idea. It's a good event in the sense that if we talk about why diaspora's engagement is very important, you need to convince people and bring them closer. I think President Olusegun Obasanjo during his time, when he said, he wants something that will always bring us back home. So this event annually was actually geared towards that direction, to bring us home as one. Not, of course, we do come home individually, but as a group, we do come home thanks to this anniversary or this event that comes up.
But in terms of national value,
I think it's everything you
being able to tap into this diaspora community for the benefit of the country.
Yeah, we do.
70 years ago,
we do, because if you have to look at we have tangible and intangible benefits of everything. I think part of the intangible are more in the sense that many diasporans had the confidence of coming home, engaging certain groups of people. It might not necessarily be government, because Diaspora Day is not actually about government only. You have the opportunity of having even establishing contact, networking. A lot of diasporans have, somehow been out of the country for many years. Some of them don't have the confidence of even coming back home. So coming home annually as a group gives them that confidence. I know a lot of people who came home this year, this just event a few days ago, they are still around having opportunity to actually see some of the business partners that they have been probably talking virtually. So this opportunity, so that's why I say, yes, the value, you might not see it immediately, but I think it has certain psychological value, which is intangible. So as to the tangible ones, which you are probably emphasizing on, that what has that, got to maybe giving us in terms of some of the things, expectations, anticipations that we had when we started all these diaspora engagements. Yes, you might say there are few, but I think they are still very important because there is need for diasporans to always be looking at home and see things as people at home are seeing it. Because when you are outside the country, there are things that you don't know you can't feel it. You only maybe rely on information given to you by third party, maybe internet or all those stuff. But when you come home, you actually feel it. You actually see what are these things.
Okay, so let me in 50 seconds, what do you feel now that in the last few days you've been in Nigeria? What do you feel? What do you feel about Nigeria and about Nigerians?
Yeah, well, I feel, first of all, I compare it to what it was last year, in terms of environment. I've seen that it seems there's a real regeneration of expectations.
Did you feel the removal of petroleum subsidy in people? Did you see the rising cost of living?
Yes.
Are you going to be shocked when you go back and more friends now will be calling you to say, Dr. Bashir, we may need some support from you? Did you feel that, or are you afraid that will be increasing now?
Yeah, of course, that's true. That of course the shock of removal of subsidy is still there in the air. Is it's obvious. Obviously, it's going to be for some time before people readjust themselves.
Are you concerned?
I'm concerned, but I'm also optimistic that things will ease out.
Are you being realistic or you're being political?
No, I'm not being political because I don't belong to any political party.
Right, let's go to Honorable Kenneth in Germany. Honorable Kenneth, thank you for taking the time to join us on the program today. Honorable Kenneth, you couldn't make this year's annual Diaspora, but let me put this question to you. Are you really hopeful? Do you have the confidence that government, maybe the present government or previous governments, have made enough efforts to make Nigeria a place for the Nigerians in diaspora to come in and live and invest?
Well, thank you very much once again for having me, and thank you to my continental chairman, Bashir Bashikola, Doctor. It's a pleasure seeing you flagging our flag in Nigeria, and our commandant and mentor, Alista Shayode. Thank you for representing us. Well, I have the privilege of being the longest serving chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Organization Europe. And like you said, this is the 17th National Diaspora Day. Likely said, or rightly said, homeland development has been one of the core objectives of Nigerians in diaspora. As we continue to look objectively at the development challenges in Nigeria and seeking the need or the needed diaspora intervention in the areas of valuable partnership, training, transfer, skills, and so on and so forth. The idea of having a Diaspora Day, bringing in, various Nigerians across the globe, to form a kind of a think tank and see these challenges is actually a very novel one from the government. But it's unfortunate, honestly speaking, that after 17th Diaspora Day celebration, we are not there yet. That's the truth of the matter. And then it's ending up to being more or less like a jamboree, like you rightly said, because like I said, the instruments are there. One of the core instruments, and actually the organizers of the Nigerian Diaspora Day, is supposed to be NITCOM. NITCOM is an institution saddled with coordinating the diaspora. And we were hoping, that we would have had a Diaspora Commission by now, where we have a true representation of Nigerians in diaspora, because that would have given them the necessary impetus and the framework to be able to think out how diaspora can continue to engage Nigeria in terms of national development. So like you already said, we are more than 17 million, about 20 million Nigerians in diaspora spread across the continent of Europe, America, Asia, and Oceania. And Have the impact really been felt? I think it's something we need to really look ourselves in the face and say more still needed to be done. We are not there yet. We are just starting probably to get there. But the truth of the matter is that the Diaspora Day celebration, good in networking, have not really achieved the objective of which it was meant to achieve. Right.
Not really achieve the purpose, objective for which supposed to be Kenneth Bandy, given on that submission to Charlister. As it is, of course, the submission what I get from people, participants, non-political statement is that, look, more still needs to be done. What would you say the government should do in terms of annexing, coordinating and annexing the potentials in the diaspora, the remittances, huge amount of money, and the skill, the competence, the knowledge of the diaspora? How do you think is the best way for the Nigerian government to go about this? Being the former chair of Nigerian Diaspora Continental.
Well, thank you very much. When you value the amount of Nigerians and the contribution, for example, over the last decade, it's almost close to $250 billion to the Nigerian economy. When you look at the strategy that has been implemented by successful government that are successful in terms of agriculture, that you brought in Dr. Adeshina in, finance, Dr. Nkosi, and many other people that have been brought back from the diaspora to contribute to national policy and national development. Some of the best brains that came back home, including Amina at the United Nations, you can see that as soon as they finish their service, the international community actually called them back for a bigger role. That means the Nigerian community, the Nigerian nation is succeeding by inviting the best of their brain to come home. Now, in terms of government policy, this is a new government, this is a new administration. We are now in the early days of it. And I'm still appealing to the government that is in office right now to consider making sure that as the diaspora, for the first time in this in election history, in the history of Nigeria, the diaspora contributed enormously, from contribution of finance, the policy direction, to the strategy to win election. This is the first time ever. So right now, I hope the governors, including the presidential cabinet that is out there, and as they begin to submit names for the cabinet, for ministers, to allocate a percentage to the diasporan community that will be invited likewise to become ministers. But apart from that, every state governor, apart from having the diaspora decks in the state, to pick their best brain that are outside the country, to come in and participate in their cabinet. Because you see, when you bring the best and your qualified, smart, intelligent, skillful, creative diaspora who are willing to come, the best thing that you're doing is actually strategizing and mixing homegrown commissioners with internationally exposed Nigerians that are willing to come to your state, from Katsina to Lagos to Benue to Anambra, to be in the cabinet. For example, in Anambra State, I can definitely say the Commissioner of Trade is a diasporan, Christian Odechukwu. Yeah? The governor saw the quality of that person coming from United Kingdom to be in his cabinet. But apart from bringing his skill, he will bring the international awareness that he knows. So I hope that governors across the Federation would consider inviting the best of their state indigene into that cabinet. It could be 5%, even if they just start by appointing one commissioner, well, not commissioner for diaspora, but commissioner for something, because then he will bring in the knowledge of the international awareness into that cabinet. So the president, please remember the diaspora. For every agency that is yet now for the board to be constituted, please put a percentage for the diaspora in that ministry. If you're talking about Minister of Trade, pick a diaspora, 1 or 2 in that board. If you're talking about Minister of Health, put 1 or 2 diaspora. We have them. And it is quality to recognize that what NITCOM did in this concluded diaspora, they recognize Nigerians in the diaspora that have contributed to the national development or in their international places where they're based, by recognizing them and giving them award. This is the first time people like Adeshina, Ngozi, Jelani Aliu, the guy with the car, Professor Emeritus in the United States, many NGOs that are Nigerian-led were recognized. So that is a powerful start. And again, by that admonition, she's not saying, likewise, if you're ambassadors for us, please continue to be good ambassadors. So I think the value of this diaspora, the quality of it, is that the government, based on your question, to make sure that in every ministry, in every MDA, in every agency, in every commission that is national, a member, one or two from the diaspora is included.
It's included. Okay, all right. Before I come to you, I do hope that I'm going to have the time. Hopefully, before you go back, we'll be able to have you back. But let me quickly go to Honorable Kenneth. Honorable Kenneth, it does appear, are you concerned that the Nigerian system is grossly alienating the diaspora community? Many of you vied for political positions. I know Alistair Shiode contested to be president of Nigeria under Yes Party. You are also politically inclined at some point, right out there in Germany, being politically active. But it does appear people who are politically motivated in the diaspora, you are often alienated from the political environment in Nigeria. Are you concerned?
Absolutely, very, very concerned. As a matter of fact, when I was the chairman, continental chairman of Nigerian Diaspora Organization, we had a political action point. Of course, because you know that NIDO is a non-political organization, or apolitical, so to say. So what we did was we invited all the political parties from PDP, APC, and also the party from Alistair Shiode, the Yes Party. Then we invited them to Austria. The idea is to form a synergy. How do we, the diaspora and Nigerian political class, have a synergy to say exactly how can the diaspora also contribute, not only in terms of remittances and human capacity or human capital, but also politically. Unfortunately, only Alistair Shiode of Yes Party, took this invitation and came to Austria, where we had a robust interaction with the political party. But good enough, after this interaction, it is only one political party in Nigeria, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, that deemed it fit in the history of political parties in Nigeria to create the 7th geopolitical zone in Nigeria, which is the Nigerians in diaspora, where fortunately I was also appointed the first national deputy chairman, diaspora engagement. The idea is to facilitate this alienation that you mentioned, to kind of have to facilitate the entry of Nigerian in diaspora into the political system, and having the same right that every other geopolitical zone in Nigeria will have. I think it's good, like what Alistair Shiode is saying. It's good to allocate XYZ% to the diaspora, but based on experiences, which I think you can also agree with me, no Nigerian political structure will sit at home and allow a certain percentage to be allocated to the diaspora, and they said, okay, you have to come back and wait for your turn. So it's going to be more than mere rhetoric. It's going to be more than mere appealing to the government. There has to be a structure, a general rehauling of the structure, and that will allow the diaspora to come back, have a safe or a free landing to continue to contribute to national development. And I'm happy that ADC did that, created the 7th geopolitical zone, where the diaspora, as a matter of fact, have about 35% in the stakeholding, of course, provided they are qualified and they're also the member of the political party, which we hope that all the political parties will emulate such things, and engage there, because that's the only way they can give the diaspora a free landing zone to come and contribute what Alistair Shiode was saying, their wealth, acquired international experience for homeland development.
Honorable Kenneth, I'm afraid we'll have to continue this discussion at some other time. I've really run out of time. But in 2 seconds, advise the government on how to use the diaspora for the development of the country. In 2 seconds, please.
I think we are saying the same thing. We need to, blend with the government in terms of knowing what is actually the situation of things. This yearly coming in is also part of it, knowing what the situation of things. Before you can provide solutions, you need to know exactly the integrity of what is going on. And I think the government should use us because we are exposed. We know that over there, they also face some of these problems or challenges that Nigeria think is unsurmountable, but they are surmountable. So the diasporans are very well experienced and exposed and connected to be used for the development of Nigeria, and I think we are ready for it. And I think the people at home should not think we are coming to take their positions, but rather to complement what they are doing.
Awesome.
And make sure that we have things better.
I think that's the biggest problem we have in the country. When people come from abroad, there's a kind of that threat, that thinking that we just they come from abroad. I know what I'm talking about. Yes. All right. Thank you for being part of the program. Thank you for joining us on the show. Thank you for joining us on the show. Honorable Kenneth, thank you for your time on the show. We'll continue this line of discussion very soon. This is how far I can go on the program today. Enjoy the rest of your week and stay safe. Very grateful for everyone that's been part of this program, including the team. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you.
AIT, sharing the African experience.